Good morning, the Hood Table Squad. This is Tanya coming at you from the Hood Table this wonderful Tuesday morning. I hope all is well to all our followers, supporters, family, and friends. Please help me and join me congratulate Precious McKesson, the beautiful Precious McKesson from Omaha, Nebraska. Precious, she's a political director at Joe Biden campaign, board member at Omaha Public Schools Foundation, and constituent director at Nebraska Democratic Party. Now, as of late, Precious has been recognized as being the first woman of color to serve as a presidential elector in Nebraska, and she cast her vote this past Monday for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Now, in a ceremonial validation of Nebraska's presidential election results, Florida State's five presidential electoral votes were officially cast Monday for Republican President Donald Trump. But the meeting of the state's delegates to the Electoral College also turned into a celebration of that fifth vote, which was cast by Precious McKesson of Omaha for Democratic President elect Joe Biden. McKesson, the first African American and first woman to cast an electoral college presidential vote for a Democrat in Nebraska, was cheered by several dozen supporters when she entered the room at the state capitol and when she announced her vote with cell phone cameras pointed her way. And right now we're going to turn to a video in which Precious was being interviewed the other day.
For the Democratic Party, we haven't had a elector cast their vote for a Democratic president since 2008 with Barack Obama. And Precious McKesson is not only the first woman to cast a vote for a Democratic president, but she's also the first African American to have this honor. We had historic turnout in Nebraska. We had a youth turnout that tripled on the Democratic side. We had historic turnout, obviously, in vote by mail, not only because of the coronavirus, because that's something that also the Democrats have been investing money in for years. We had 1,000 block captains across the state. We had 550 Democrats running, and almost 70% of them won their races. So the Democrats are really proving that we have the momentum, the organization, and the communities across rural, suburban, and urban that are at our big blue table. So we're proud of the success that we've had, and we're looking forward to not only city elections in 2021, but the statewide elections in 2022. So we can actually have a family that lives in the people's house. So with that, I will turn it over to Precious McKesson. Yay! Awesome. Okay.
Hello, everyone. First, I just want to say thank you so much for everyone who came out today to support this historic event. I am very honored to be casting the vote for the CD2 representatives. I was elected by my peers for this moment, and I'm just very honored. And I'm very honored and thankful to everyone who got out and actually cast their votes and really did their due diligence to make sure that we could have this moment. And we're casting a vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris to be sworn in on January 20th. So I'll go in and I will do my duty that I'm sworn to do, and I'll do it with pride and with respect, and knowing that so many people, I stand on the shoulders of so many people for this moment to take place. So I'll take any questions. Well, number one, I mean, for so long we've seen women of color, not being able to be elected. We see a lot of women who don't look like us, and so for us to have this space and being able to really make this moment, it means a lot. It means a lot for the women who have ran, who maybe not won, but the women who every day go out fighting for our rights. And again, it's not just about me being an African American woman; it's about all women, because at the end of the day, we want our seat at the table, and now we have it.
What do you want children watching you, African American people watching you? What do you want them to know about what this means to you, what this is?
Well, number one, what it means is that on November 3rd, that one vote in CD2 changed the direction of the presidential election. It was monumental, and so it just matters that your vote matters. You stick it out all the way to the end, and we were in a very unconventional type of election where we couldn't go door to door due to the pandemic, and we were just basically issues and connect it to the voters, and that's what we did. So just say, take it all the way to the end, all the way to the end. Don't stop.
What will you be thinking about? Who will you be thinking about when you sign that and cast that ballot?
Number one, my grandmother and my aunt. My aunt passed away 2 years ago after the 2018 election, and she was a first-time voter and very excited for me to be a part of, working on the campaign in 2018. And just my grandmother, who was a housekeeper, who went to work every day, who made minimum wage, and we never knew the struggle. So for me to be able to pass this vote today, I'll be thinking about them because I know they'll be cheering me on.
What is the CDC vote? What do you mean with CDC? What is it that says about CDC that it's elected here in Nebraska?
Repeat that one time.
What does the win in CDC? What do you think that says about the electorate in Nebraska and the state as a whole?
I mean, it just shows that, we have the voters. The voters believe in what's going on in the issues, and we believe that we need change. And we spoke up and we got to the polls, and we can continue to do that and push it. And again, we pushed the issues. The issues was making sure that we have safe America, safe people in our state, through this pandemic. So, I mean, we got up, we spoke, and we'll continue to do it.
What was your impression of the effort to overturn the election through the courts?
Well, number one, it was very disgraceful, that it was happening because number one, the areas that they were trying to overturn the votes were really big communities of color. And so the fact that you're trying to do voter suppression by overturning the votes, it was very distasteful. But again, we're here today on this day, and the electors have spoken, and we will all cast our votes across the United States, and that'll be for Joe Biden and for Kamala Harris to be the next president and vice president of the United States.
Now that you're going, you know who you're going to pass it on to for, so how are you hoping that the president elected or the vice president are going to carry your position that you were going to be named as next vote? How do you hope that they continue to do the legacy they're looking for?
Well, I mean, look at the Build Back Better plan. We all believed in that plan. Again, we spoke about the issues that were happening, so we're going to stay focused on that plan and make sure that they understand that this is the plan they ran on, and we'll just continue doing that work.
Both Precious and Jane, can you talk a little bit about the governor's recent comments during the certification, or after the certification, where he talked about being open to the idea of going to winner take all if somebody brings a bill to him? What does that say to you about where the Republican Party is in Nebraska and what they want to accomplish?
I think like President Trump, Governor Ricketts is acting like a sore loser. The reality is, just like our nonpartisan unicameral, our split electoral vote system makes us unique. It gives voters a real opportunity to have their voice heard. Because we are such a Republican-dominated state, you started to see the blue dots in Lincoln and in Omaha and in other parts across our state. So this is really an opportunity to balance the scales. Nobody wants one-party rule, and unfortunately in our state, because that has happened, we've seen policies like climate change, something that would really help our small family farmers and ranchers' action on that issue, essentially have no action, and instead allowing, for example, a foreign oil pipeline to take people's land rather than actually supporting clean energy. So we will fight it, just like we have in the past. I think it's good history to remember that Democrats are the one who brought the split electoral vote system. Senator Diana Shimmick. Governor Nelson was governor at the time. He vetoed several bills that the Republicans put in front of him to take that away. So we will fight to not only keep that system intact, but also to make sure that redistricting is fair and actually balances communities all across our state.
Do you expect that to come up at the next legislative session?
No question. The Republicans will absolutely bring it up. We have 17 Democrats in the state legislature. We're confident that some Republicans will join us in order to make sure that bill doesn't get passed.
Even though he may have lost, what role do you think President Trump is going to be in the Republican Party?
I mean, at this point, I don't even want to think about that. I mean, the influence that he has and the way that he's acted since this has started, since the election. I don't know, but I would hope that the Republicans will stand up to him and know that he's not a threat to them, and they need to do the right thing. And the right thing is to really be fair across the board. And right now they're not. And hopefully, after today, that they will, get their act together and we can move forward.
And Senator Sass and I don't agree on many issues, but he's at least called out the president for when he hasn't been acting appropriately. Don Bacon didn't sign the letter to the Supreme Court, but he said in an interview with NET that he was happy that it was moving forward. So the Republicans are frozen with fear over Donald Trump. And at some point, I hope that that party gets its balance back again with people like McAllister and Sack bringing some reason to their party.
Nebraska is normally a very red state, but with the turnout, obviously, what happened with these districts in the election, what do you foresee the future of the Democratic Party and their role in future elections as well as, politics in general here in this state?
Look, I mean, our mantra, Precious, is a leader within our party. My mantra as chair is that all shades of blue are welcome. So that's progressives, moderates, and conservatives. And that's why Joe Biden and Kamala Harris won the 2nd Congressional District. They made sure that there was a space for all Democrats, and they really spoke to issues across ideology. And I think that's exactly how they're going to govern. Their cabinet right now is looking that way. And so we have full confidence, and that's why people chose Biden and Harris, including Republicans and independents.
All right, we got time for maybe one more on the Precious and side.
Sort of along those lines, what takeaways, what have you learned from the win in CD2? I mean, what have you learned, and what do you think you'll be able to take forward in the future elections?
I mean, we've learned we still have a lot of work to do. It doesn't stop. And we need to continue registering voters year round. We need to just continue, again, talking to voters, making sure we're hearing the voters and talking about their issues that impact their families. And I think, going forward, that's what we need to do is keep the message going, keep talking, and just being there, being visible.
We've also learned that when the national party listens to leaders on the ground, we win.
Yes.
The Biden team listened to Precious. She may not have been the state director in name, but she was the state director in operations. And because of that, critical decisions were made about messaging, about how we were going to do field during the coronavirus, how we were going to be doing, drive-through yard sign events, and lots of events that were reaching different communities of color. And that's the big message that we have for the National Democratic Party, is that you actually have leaders in every single state who know their states. Invest in state parties, invest in leaders like Precious. That's how we win.
And what about that narrative that the Republicans are saying that Joe Biden is going to bring in socialism, and that you're talking about defunding the police, and you're not going to have law and order?
I'm not even going to speak to their level on that. We're going to continue the fight that we're supposed to be doing to making sure that everybody is safe. At the end of the day, the same way that I want officers to go home to their families safe, I want people that look like me to go home safe also. So I'm not going to feed into their narrative because that's what they've been trying to use, these scare tactics. We're not going to feed into it.
Okay, everybody. Come on.
Thanks, everybody.
So that was the interview that Precious did the other day. And once again, I would like to congratulate Precious McKesson from Omaha, Nebraska, right here in my own city. She, the NDP elector for the 2nd Congressional District, on Monday, last Monday, just the other day, again, she became the first woman and the first African-American woman of color to cast an electoral college ballot for a Democrat in Nebraska. Now, Precious noted that she is beyond thrilled to have cast the electoral vote for President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. Hard work and dedicated supporters assisted in electing Joe Biden and Kamala Harris as our new leadership. She said she is confident we will see the change that is needed to heal our nation. One more time, congratulations, Precious McKesson. You did a wonderful, wonderful job right here for our state of Nebraska.